Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all. My name is Nizamuddin Yusuf, the moderator for today's webinar. I am from the Assistant Vice Chancellor Office, Industry and Community Network, University Technical Malaysia Melaka, or easily called UTEM. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to wish all our Muslim participants Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri and Maaf Zahir dan Batin. May you enjoy the festival with happiness, warmth, and joy together with your family, relatives, and friends. For your information, this webinar series is under the Knowledge Transfer Program, KDP. It is one of the Ministry of Higher Education method to transfer knowledge from the university to the industry. At the end of this webinar, the audience will receive a link to a feedback form. The audience who fill up the form will receive a digital certificate of participation, and those from UTEM will be given a CPD points. Our topic today is plastic from plants and will be delivered by Dr. Ridwan bin Jumaidin. Dr. Ridwan bin Jumaidin is a senior lecturer at the Faculty of Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering Technology, University Technical Malaysia Melaka. He obtained his bachelor degree in mechanical engineering in structures and material in 2009 from University Technical Malaysia Melaka, and then continued his study at the master level in material engineering in 2012 from University Technology Malaysia. Subsequently, he received his Doctor of Philosophy degree in 2017 in material engineering from University Putra Malaysia. His research focused on the field of bioplastic and composite biopolymers, particularly in relation to natural fibers. He has published over 80 writings in articles, proceedings, journals, chapters in books, as well as books on the field of biopolymer and composite material from plants. To date, his work has been referred by more than 1,600 articles. Without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Ridwan bin Jumaidin to deliver his speech. Dr. Ridwan, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nizam, for the introduction. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And very good afternoon to everyone. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint here. Hope that you can see this slide. Okay, so first of all, I'm Ridwan. My name is Ridwan. I'm from Faculty of Technology, Kejuruan Mekanikal dan Perubatan. And today I'm going to share some of the knowledge that I can see, which is on the plastics from green plants. Okay, basically, it's from the current research and from my research, own research as well. Okay, I'm going to present about introductions. Okay, what is the bio-based polymer? Okay, and then what's the starch as a plastics, and then how is the plastics turns from starch into thermoplastics, and some of the verification or improvement that has been made to improve the thermoplastic starch, and several testing that has been conducted for these materials. Okay, so as introductions, nowadays most materials used in plastics are produced from synthetic polymers, okay, which are obtained from fossil fuels. Okay, so this material has created because it's non-degradable and also non-renewable in nature. So it has created a serious environmental problem, as you can see in this picture here. It's in Philippines, okay, where this guy is collecting potential plastics to be recycled, but the river is full with plastics. So it's a very sad situation. And then we know that there are lots of plastics in ocean. So how much plastics in the ocean in 2022, in this year? Okay, for every year, according to this database, every year we add about 25 million tons of plastics to the ocean. And as of 2022, every square mile of the ocean is contained over 45,000 individual pieces of plastics. And the scientists, they estimate that by 2050, there will be 957 million tons of plastic in the oceans. So statistically, there's more plastics than fish in the ocean. So it's a very, very serious issue that we have to look together. So what's the problem? Because plastic bags, they are difficult to dispose to the environment, like soil, ocean, and lake, and it takes up to 300 years to degrade. So normally it will cause a problem to the flora, to the fauna. For example, to this turtle here, they tend to mislead the plastics with the jellyfish that which tend to be their food. So it's a very sad situation. And then also we read news, we can every day we say that the pregnant whale died where when they discover what is inside the stomach is 50 pounds of plastics which caused her death. So this is also a very sad situation which happens currently in every day in our world. So this is the estimated decomposition rates for plastics. Okay, for example, this is the normal bottles. See, it takes 400 to 500 years. Okay, and then for glass, it says that it's not will be degrade okay, until forever. And same case with the styrofoam. Okay, it's never degrades. So this is the current decomposition rate estimated by scientists. And even after the plastic has been decomposed, okay, it still become a microplastics. Okay? You cannot see it with our bare eyes, but the study found that the microplastics can be found in 90% of the table salts that we take every day because the plastic that has been decomposed from in the soil, in the ocean, it become microplastics. So even though it's not visible, but it's still in the water. So this is the dangerous of the plastics decomposition. Okay, so here becomes with the researchers have come with alternative solutions by developing a bio-based polymer. So biopolymer is made from natural resources okay, to solve this global issue. So it is readily biodegradable and also more environmental friendly than the conventional polymers. Okay, for today, I'm going to focus on a very specific biopolymer, which is from starch. Okay, so among all the biodegradable polymer, starch is one of the most promising because it's easily available, it's biodegradable, and of course, it's renewable because it can be planted all over again. So how is starch become a plastics? So basically, this is the starch granules. So the starch, it can exhibit the thermoplastic behavior with the addition of plasticizer, heat, and also shear. So with the combination of these three material, it can become a thermoplastics. So what happened actually to develop the plastic from starch? The granular structure of the starch must be either totally or halfway destroyed under high temperature and shear with the presence of plasticizer. Okay, so the plasticizer can be ranged from glycerol, sorbitol, water, and also others as well. Okay, so basically this is basically what it happened. The starch can be mixed with plasticizer by using a mechanical mixer, okay, and then under the heat, okay, normally using the hot press machine, compression molding, or twin screw extruder, okay, with the shear, and it can be converted into this thermoplastic starch. So this is the examples of the product that can be produced from the combination of starch and plasticizer. So this thing we call it thermoplastic starch or TPS. Okay, it's totally biodegradable and it's totally renewable and safe for the environment. So, however, okay, even though the TPS has good properties, okay, renewable and biodegradable, however, it has some limitations. Okay, the strength of the native starch are extremely poor. Okay, if the strength is poor, and then we have to improve the properties. Okay, the blending of starch is necessary in order to improve the strength and the stability of the materials. So natural fiber has been reported as promising reinforcement agent to improve the properties of the TPS. So we using natural fiber as the reinforcement to reinforce the TPS. Okay, so in this study, I'm going to share some of the picture. we're using sugarcane bagasse. Okay? This sugarcane bagasse is a waste from the production of sugar, as everyone knows. So as you can see here, the fiber, okay, the sugarcane bagasse fiber is extremely good in contact with the thermoplastic starch. So it means that this fiber and then this thermoplastic starch TPS has a good compatibility, so it can support each other. Okay, unlike by using normally when we are using the natural reinforcement, for most of the previous study, they are using synthetic polymer as the polymer matrix. So we cannot see this kind of interaction when we are using synthetic polymer, because the difference between the hydrophilic nature of the fiber and the hydrophobic nature of the matrix, the polymer matrix. Okay, so this is one of the findings that we found throughout our study to develop these materials. Okay, and then we also have conducted the mechanical testings. Okay, tensile strength, flexural strength. So basically, the addition of fiber, the natural fiber, is able to improve the strength of the materials. So for the sugarcane bagasse, the strength can be up to 12 megapascals. Okay, and then for the flexural strength also, it can be up to 30 megapascal for the sugarcane bagasse. So we can develop materials from starch and the bagasse as well. Okay. Okay, in terms of the toughness, okay, the impact testing. So it also when we try to improve the properties of the material, okay, by using sugarcane bagasse, it also able to improve the toughness of the material. So it's not only improve the strength but also improve the toughness of the composite as well. Okay, so one of the other problem with the thermoplastic starch is that it is highly sensitive to moisture. Okay, so it tends to absorb moisture, it tends to absorb water, so it will affect the stability, it will affect the dimensional properties, okay, of the end product. So we need to solve this problem, and then by using the reinforcement of fiber, as you can see in this picture here, the addition of fiber is able to reduce the absorption. Okay, so here without fiber, the addition is high, and then when we introduce the fiber, it able to reduce the moisture absorption. So it can improve the strength, toughness, and also the reduce the moisture sensitivity of the materials. Okay, so this is another very interesting parts of the study, where when we are using thermoplastic starch, okay, when we conducting biodegradable testing by using soil burial. Okay, so let me explain what is soil burial. Basically, we burial the samples under the soil for about 10 centimeters. Okay, and then we let it there for about 4 weeks. And then what happened to the samples? Okay? Previously, the sample in rectangle shape. Okay, and then after 4 weeks, all the samples have shown very rapid degradation. Okay, in fact, if you can see in this picture, there are some insects starting to eat the samples. So it shows how environmental friendly is the materials. And when we add the sugar, the fiber, the sugarcane fiber, some of the structure become a little bit stronger, and of course it slightly reduce the biodegradation rate. Okay? But nevertheless, all of the sample are still environmental friendly. Okay, and then another thing is problem with the product, the plastic product that we see is when it was disposed to water, as I mentioned earlier, the product tend to stay in the water for a very long period of time. Okay? So this is one of the problem that led to the disturbance to the flora and to the fauna in ocean or in the river as well. So for this product, the TPS, after we done a water solubility test where we immerse the sample in water for 24 hours, what happened is the TPS started to disintegrate, and with the helps of fiber, the structure become slightly stable, but still it is disintegrated as well. Okay, so this means that this product, it can be safely disposed in soil, or it can be safely disposed in water as well. Okay, so without cause harm to the nature. Even it can become the source of food for some of the fauna there. Okay, so this is one of the interesting parts that we found when we developed these materials. Okay, so during the study, here we also tried using several other fiber. Okay, for example, here we use coconut grass. Okay, we use a coconut grass. So the coconut grass, okay, we know it as a lalang. Okay, we also know it as lalang. So lalang has been used, okay, to develop this product. Okay, we call it bio coconut grass tray or BCG tray. Okay, so basically this product has a very stable structure, a stable shape, and then it can be used to replace uh, the form, okay, the styrofoam, okay, which is totally non-biodegradable. Okay, and then these materials can also be used for other application as well. Okay, so this is the product that we have we have developed by using this method. Okay, and also the sugarcane fiber just now I mentioned. Okay, we also develop a product from that materials, the combination of starch and sugarcane. Okay, this is the product, sugarcane starch tray. Okay, in recent, we also use durian husk. Okay, so as I mentioned in the titles, I'm trying to expose the community to the potential of the materials, okay, to the potential of the plants, to the potential of the resources, okay, all around us, to the development of these environmentally friendly plastics. So in recent, we also try to utilize the durian husk. Okay? It's a very strong material. Okay? We all know that durian is a very strong material, and then it is abundant, okay, during the season. So from the durian husk, okay, we do the water rating process, okay, and then we extract the fiber from the water rating, and then we dry the fiber, and the fiber was used to produce this plastic tray. Okay, so this plastic tray without coating. Okay? And then this one we try to spray. Okay? And then it also gives aesthetic looks as well. So it can be used as the packaging, or it can be used as the storage department, okay? A storage compartment to store the personal care, for example. Okay? So durian, I would like to share is very interesting data here, findings, where without the fiber, okay, the TPS, as I mentioned just now, is a very weak material. Okay, the strength is only about 2.5. Okay, but once we improve, okay, once we add the fiber, okay, up to 40% here, we can see that the strength is significantly increased, okay, from 2.5 until 22.5 megapascal. Okay? So this is a very huge contribution for the strength of the materials when we use durian husk. So this is a very high potential fiber, okay, from durian as a reinforcement material for plastics, especially for bioplastics. Okay, So same goes to the rigidity, okay, up to 3,743% improvement in the rigidity of the materials, okay. So these materials show very high improvement, okay, in tensile strength and also in flexural strength. So the flexural strength shows up to 55 megapascals. So the strength is almost similar to the to the conventional plastics, for example, like PP. Okay, so the strength is almost comparable. Okay, so this is the very interesting finding that we found when we are using durian fiber. Okay, so same goes also to the flexural modulus. Okay, to the flexural modulus of the material, very significant improvement. Okay, without the fiber and after we add the durian husk fiber. Okay. Okay, and then also we also try, okay, using coconut husk, okay, sabut kelapa, okay, sabut kelapa. So coconut husk is also, we know that it's very strong material, and then we didn't need very tedious process, okay, to extract the fiber. So we just need to by using mechanical process, okay, to separate it, okay, and then we can collect the fibers. Okay, so the fiber also has been used to develop a packaging tray as well. So as I mentioned just now, my study is using the mainly focus on developing a biodegradable packaging tray. So, and of course, the matrix here, although it looks like transparent, okay, if you can see the structure here, it looks like epoxy. Okay, if you're those who are familiar with composites, it looks like epoxy plus with the fiber, but actually it's not epoxy. It is starch. Okay, when it's pressed, it can produce like transparent look materials. So this is another interesting part of these materials. Okay, so for the durian, okay, for the durian fiber, okay, this is the structure, okay, before, okay, I think this one is more clear, okay, this is before for the water soluble, okay, after we 24 hours, we immerse it in water, so it can decompose like this, okay, so it is safely to be decomposed after 24 hours, okay, for other than other materials, even though they claim it's biodegradables, but it still take quite long time, okay, for the material to degrade. Okay, so same goes here with the soil burial. Okay, this is the sample before, and then this is the sample after 4 weeks. Okay, so this material can be seen as environmentally friendly proven. Okay, so this is another interesting part. Okay, I think I can have come to towards the end of the presentation. Okay, this is the most interesting parts of these materials. Okay, where because this material is a thermoplastics. Okay, we know that all the PP, polypropylene, polyethylenes, all of these materials, it can be crushed and can be recycled. Okay, same with the PLA. However, for this material, even though it's a starch base, but according to my experience in conducting to this operating with these materials, this material can be crushed, okay, to become a pellet like this, and then it can be remolded. Okay, you put it in the mold, and then we press it again to produce a new recycled product. Okay, so this plastics from plants is not only biodegradables, but it also recyclable. Okay, so it has two very important characteristics in environmental preservations. Okay, it's biodegradable and also it's recyclable, and of course the source is renewable. So the three main things in the environment can be captured, okay, by these products. Okay, the recyclables, Okay, so I would like to share also, okay, what are the other plants, okay, that are able to produce bioplastics. So basically, we also have sago, okay, sago starch, okay, that can be produced starch from the sago. So the starch can be used to produce plastics. Also, we have sugar palm. Okay, this sugar palm fiber, or in Malay we call it anau. Okay, so the sugar palm fiber also can be cut into half. Okay, and then can be doing the same process. Okay, like the sago, but the amount of sago is not as much. The amount of starch is not as much as by the sago tree. Okay, and also we have corn. Okay, we have potato, we have ubi gadong. Okay, this is a recent research found by our colleague. Okay, there can be any kind of materials, okay, which possess starch. Okay, it can be used to produce bioplastics. Okay, okay, and then after that, okay, we have also kenaf. Okay, okay, and then previously, this previous one, okay, the previous one is for the bioplastics, okay, as the main materials, okay, like the matrix can be used to produce plastics, and this is for the reinforcement, okay, for the fiber to helps to improve the strength. So we can use the plants, which is kenaf, okay, kenaf fiber. You can use sugar palm. Okay, sugar palm fiber is for those who notice, they also use sugar palm for brooms. Okay, for brooms, okay, penyapu. Okay, they has been used to create this fiber, and also pineapple leaf. Okay, there are a lot of research, okay, using pineapple leaf as a resource for natural fiber. Okay, it has a very good strength to improve the properties of the materials. Okay, and of course oil palm. Okay, oil palm fiber, the empty fruit bunches. As in Malaysia, we have a lot of oil palm. So the fiber is extensively being studied, okay, by researchers as the potential as a potential reinforcement for the materials. And also we have bamboo, okay? And also in recent we have used lemongrass as well, okay, to produce the composites. So for example, we know that the lemongrass, okay, we only use the roots, okay, for cooking and for other extraction as well. So the remaining of the leaves were not used. Okay, but according to our study, the lemongrass leaves also able to improve the strength and the stability of the bioplastics. So as I mentioned in the title, a lot of plants around us, even those we have been using for cooking. Okay, this also has promote as a serve as a potential materials. Okay, to solve the global environmental pollution that we face nowadays. Okay, so
Dr. Ridwan,
yes,
we have one question from the floor.
okay.
The question is, how many hours for the bioplastic starch plus biofiber can we stand if we put water inside it?
How many?
How many hours it will? How many hours it can withstand with the water on it?
Okay. So thanks, Dr. Ilyas. Okay, thanks, Dr. Ilyas, for the questions. Okay. Basically, we have seen these problems. Okay. With starch. Okay, where when we can have good properties, but it can dissolve in water in a very 24 hours. So of course, when we provide it, okay, when we put it in contact with water, okay, for a very long periods, it will not sustain, okay, it will not sustain as been shown by the synthetic plastics, okay, it's not the same. So in terms of how many hours for the bioplastic starch can withstand. Okay, if we put water inside it. Okay, normally if we after 3 hours, okay, after 3 or 4 hours, it will started to swell. Okay, it will started to swell. So one of the potential methods, okay, to improve this problem is by using coating. Okay, so when we're using coating, it can helps to improve this material. For example, if we see papers, okay, paper is a biodegradable materials, but when we want to use it when for contact with water, when we want to use it for contact with oil, we will use coating, okay, coated materials, so that you will have especially according to the question, in terms of how many hours this composites or this material can withstand, okay, if we put water inside it. So after all, the initial intention, okay, for the product is now, as you can see this product, okay, the initial application, then application for this product is to store product, okay, in the dry means, okay. It's not for holding water, but of course as a researcher, we always going towards, okay, to improve the properties of this product, where we want this product to be able to withstand water as well, okay. But of course, it will have to be conflicted, okay, with this, we call it water solubility properties. Okay, so we have these two, we call it contradicting properties. Okay, if you want the materials to have good water resistance, but it will not it will not produce these interesting features when you want to dissolve the product, into the water. Okay, so I hope it answered the question, Dr. Ilyas.
We have another question
Okay.
from Zu Zakaria. Is any treatment has been done on the fiber before use in TPS?
Okay. This very good question from Dr. Zu Zakaria. Okay, so as I would like to share again the picture from the fibers and the matrix. Okay, so one of the interesting parts, as you can see in this picture here, okay, the fibers basically is not clean. Okay, let's call it like bundles of fibers. Okay, it's not clean. So basically, we did not do any treatment to the fiber. So we didn't do any treatment to the fiber, and even without treatment, the fiber able to have good interaction with the matrix. And this is because the TPS is hydrophilic in nature. So when the fiber is in contact with the matrix, so it able to have good interaction even without treatment. Okay, so and of course, if the treatment has been done, it will able to further improve the properties of this material. Okay, Dr. Zhu, I hope it answered the question.
I guess that is the question from the floor now. You can continue, Dr. Ridwan.
Thank you, Dr. Nizam. Okay, so now I think I stop at this part. Okay, the degradations, and then the recyclability in this part. Okay, so lemongrass is now I mentioned. Even there are a lot of other potential as a researchers. Okay, I believe there are a lot of researchers in this platform. Okay, there are about 2 participants here. So we always can explore other types of natural fiber, natural ways available, okay, in order as a part of our effort, okay, to preserve the environment, and of course to invent a new product, a new materials which is environmentally friendly and also renewable. Okay. So I just like to share. I came across products, okay, which is the straw. Okay, this is not from my research. Okay, I'm just sharing this product. It's a straw from starch. Okay, it's biodegradable and also it's also edible. Okay? It's also edible. So this starch, okay, it can be eaten, okay, even after you using the straw. Okay, after that, after I think about 1 hours, okay, about 1 hour it started to become soft, and then we can eat the straw. Okay, so same case with the paper straw. I think most of us have experience using the paper straw. Okay, after 1 hour and that, so the paper straw started to become soft and cannot be used anymore. So you have to clean your beverage as soon as possible. Okay, so this is another interesting application, okay, of the starch, okay, for the plastics to replace the plastic straw. Okay, and then another type of commonly used uh, material is PLA, okay, polylactic acid. So polylactic acid is a synthetic polymer. It's developed by using comprehensive layer types stage of processing before it can become PLA, okay, plastic, and then it also developed from cornstarch. Okay, so this is another product available. Okay, so what else? We can do? Okay, so what else we can do is even when we talk about the environment, so we have to start recycling. Okay, we have to start recycling when we by separating the plastic, okay, with the recycle sign. So of course, even though there are a lot of plastics, okay, 7 billion generated globally, but it's actually less than 10%, okay, has been recycled. Even like in the advanced country like Norway, okay, they make intention to uh, provide a token for those who recycle the plastic bottle. So this, apart from developing biodegradable materials, okay, we also have to take effort, okay, by started recycling plastics, okay, especially those with recycling sign. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to go to the conclusion. Okay, I think there's a question from Dr. Ilyas.
Yes, there is another question from him. How about the antimicrobial properties of the biocomposites? And how long can this packaging be used after it is fabricated? And should we consider microbe agent?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ilyas. For this study, okay, for these materials, okay, for these bio-based materials, normally when you want to have antimicrobial properties, okay, we can add like silver nanoparticles. Okay, a lot of studies has been conducted by using silver nanoparticles. Okay, so that this material can have antimicrobial properties. And of course, normally it is conducted on films, okay, for the antimicrobial properties. But for thick composites, like the one that me and my other researchers developed, so far I haven't crossed any studies using the antimicrobial on the thick composites. Okay, so normally they are using for the thin films, okay, for the packaging wise. Okay, so you can try it. Okay, you can try by using the silver nanoparticles to improve the antimicrobial. So by default, this material that has been developed, okay, there are no antimicrobial properties for this composite. And how long can this packaging be used after it is fabricated? So far, according to my experience, okay, all the samples that has been produced, there are some of them is already 3 to 4 years, okay, but it is still, I think I can show the picture, like this one, the sample, okay, after 3 to 4 years, okay, it's still in the sham shape, okay. It's still rigid, it's still stable, it's not degraded, okay. Provided that it's not in contact with water, so this material is stable, so it can be used for dry purpose. Okay, so if you want to, as I mentioned just now, if you want to use for application, this is in contact with moisture. Okay, so we can consider using kind of coating, okay, to improve the properties. Okay, so for the third question, should we consider antimicrobe agent? Yeah, I think it's a very good suggestion. Okay, so it's just that for the application of these materials where it is involved extrusions, injection molding, hot pressing, so the kind of antimicrobial properties is yet to be determined. Okay, because normally the antimicrobial properties can be discovered when the materials or the product is developed by using solution casting. Okay? So the amount of heat is much more less as compared to the hot pressing to produce this kind of product here. Okay, so I think that answers the questions. Dr. Yes. Okay. Okay.
For the participant, if you have any question, you can directly unmute yourself and ask the question directly to Dr. Ridwan.
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Dr. Ridwan, my name is Dr. Ashraf from UITM Shah Alam.
Ya, Doktor.
Okay, very interesting topic lah, Dr. Ridwan. Okay, currently, what is the selling price of a normal bioplastic? For example, straw. This is bioplastic straw. Is it affordable ataupun terlampau expensive?
Okay, untuk straw ni, actually bila saya come across the product, saya cuba search lah dalam Shopee kan. Actually, it's affordable lah. Tapi of course when we compare it with the yang straw yang biasa tu, memang harga dia jauh berbeza lah. Tapi kalau yang saya pernah nampak hari tu, dia punya harga dia still dalam RM6 macam tu, RM3, tapi dalam RM6 tu dia ada dalam beberapa dalam 100 pieces. So satu tu dalam 60 sen lah harga dia. So
Okay.
harga dia kalau dibandingkan dengan straw biasa memang jauh berbeza. Tetapi dari segi affordable tu saya rasa affordable. Dia still, and of course ni produk ni dia baru lagi. So macam PLA kan, macam PLA dulu awal-awal tu memang dia mahal. Bila dah lama tu dia start jadi murah lah, sebab dia dah pergi kepada mass production. Dari segi harga tu sebenarnya, kalau yang siapa yang ada handphone tu, boleh cuba tengok, boleh cuba search dekat Shopee tu, boleh search starch straw. Dalam tu kalau saya tengok sekarang ni pun, saya tengah buka ni, dia ada harga dia RM6. RM6 dia jual 100 pieces. So boleh lah, boleh cuba lah beli.
Yalah, because sebelum ni pun I ada visit kedai DIY, kedai itu RM1 kan.
Yeah.
So lately saya nampak a lot of bioplastic product lah being sold in the eco shop. Saya tengok price for straw tu macam macam orang yang konsep price, macam business, dia memang kena fikir 2-3 kali jugalah.
Betul. Kalau dia nak guna, kalau give for free kan, kalau macam kedai-kedai biasa tu mungkin dia tak sampai lah. Tapi yang saya pernah nampak satu kedai kopi lah, I think saya tak ingat nama kedai tu, tapi saya tengok ada yang dah start guna straw ni. Saya Zeus kopi tak silap.
Zeus pun ada, Zeus betul. Dia cair tu kan.
Ya. So ada yang Ya.
Actually, one of the solution lah untuk reducekan apa ni the price of the production itself kan, kita go into mass production now.
Betul.
Currently actually I'm curious lah sebab saya daripada bidang proses, so I'm curious whether in term of orang kata productivity ataupun manufacturing kan, kalau nak go into the mass production, sebenarnya sorry lah, kadang-kadang saya miss some points. I don't know whether kat Malaysia ni dah ada mass production untuk produce bioplastic. Do you have any information on the mass production of bioplastic?
Okay, kalau untuk mass production, kalau untuk bioplastics, bioplastics yang PLA, even yang PLA saya tak sure, even yang PHA pun dulu saya pernah go for visits lah dekat Sirim. Semua still under R&D lah. Yang betul-betul mass production dekat Malaysia saya tak pernah nampak lagi. Yang ada buat produk ni dia lebih kepada macam just dia gunakan natural fiber, and then dia gunakan polymer tu synthetic polymer. Yang itu ada beberapa syarikat lah yang kita nampak. Tapi kalau yang menggunakan PLA sebagai menggunakan bioplastik tu macam PLA sebagai mass production ni, so far saya tak come across lagi. Saya pun tak dengar, saya tak nampak lagi lah setakat ni.
Sebab daripada my point of view lah, Dr. Ridwan, sebab saya tengok negara macam Brazil, India, so diorang dah ada mass production sebab sugar cane, starch ni memang berlambak kat country, diorang punya country kan.
Betul.
Malaysia ni sebab for example lah, macam production of LDPE ni dia guna ni lah low density polyethylene, dia gunakan motor dia ethylene tau. Ethylene ni kita orang kata dapat daripada petroleum base ataupun ni lah bio base ni lah plantation. Tapi untuk Malaysia ni so far memang long way to go lah before mass production of LDPE using bio base ethylene ni. So itulah information yang saya curious sebab maybe kalau kita dapat solvekan isu ni memang boleh dapat murah lah, I think lot cheaper lah.
Betul. Sebab dari segi cost, dari segi satu lagi yang saya nampak lah, kalau saya boleh share sedikit lah my point of view juga, sebab kalau kita tengok kadang-kadang ada yang bila dekat overseas ni dia punya industri university punya link tu very strong. Tapi dekat Malaysia ni bila kita my own experience lah, kadang-kadang macam contohnya bila bioplastik ni, kalau kita approach company yang plastik kan, mereka macam rasa terancam lah. Even survey pun dia bagi negatif punya jawapan, sebab kalau kita kata alternatif plastik kan, so mungkin dia dari segi readiness untuk change tu masih rendah lagi lah. Dia lebih selesa untuk go for the synthetic punya plastics. Itu antara reason dia lah. Dan satu lagi, kalau macam dekat overseas, memang industri ke universiti ni dia sangat-sangat strong. So mereka sharing tu sangat-sangat rapid lah, sangat-sangat rapid. Kalau dekat Malaysia ni kita dah siap semua dan baru kita cuba approach industri kan. So of course lah, memang ada juga jalan-jalan yang matching, tetapi tak berapa rancak lah. So mungkin itu salah satu reason lah kenapa reason ni. Kalau pasal plastik ni pula, kalau saya tengok memang macam starch tu, even dah ada dia punya macam mesin lah untuk buat straw tu. Tapi tak tahulah sejauh mana dia punya kebenaran dia kan. Sebab bila kita go for commercial punya produk ni, kadang-kadang kita kena hati-hati. Sebab contoh ni saya pernah tengok lah, pernah go through satu syarikat yang dia kata dia develop semua produk dia daripada starch kan. So as a researcher, saya punya assumption tu memang dia buat daripada starch. Dia punya produk tu lah daripada raw starch. Tapi sebenarnya rupanya semuanya adalah PLA, yang maksudnya diorang dah gunakan synthetic PLA tu lah, bukannya starch yang macam yang raw starch tu. So itu kadang-kadang bila commercial ni dia ada ni lah, kena selidik juga. even the purity. Kalau kita beli materials yang macam kita beli materials yang macam apa filament kan, ada kawan-kawan saya beli filament untuk 3D printing, dia claim dekat situ apa fiber tu fiber ni kan. Kadang-kadang kita kena tengok juga adakah betul dia punya tu, sebab industri dia secret kan. Kalau kita akademik ni, kita nak publish, kita disclose. Tapi kalau industri ni dia sorok sikit lah. So itu kita kena tengok lah.
Alright, thank you very much, Dr. Ridwan.
Okay, saya tengok ada satu soalan daripada Dr. Nur Fadilah Hamzah. What are the disadvantages of bioplastics? Okay, so as I mentioned just now, bioplastics ni depends the types of bioplastics. Kalau bioplastics yang macam PLA tu, I think dekat sini mungkin ada juga lah yang buat berkenaan dengan PLA. Tapi bila saya cuba come across the reading, what is the actual status of the PLA as a biodegradable materials? Okay, so mungkin ada yang sini yang boleh share, mungkin boleh share. Tapi bila saya come across PLA ni, nama dia biodegradables, but it's biodegradable under control conditions. It means that macam kalau saya tengok yang sebelum ni saya share yang testing ni, we only make a burial, kita tanam sampel ni dalam tanah for 4 weeks, and it happen like this. But for PLA, this is not gonna happen. Ni yang some of the misleading information is given about PLA, because PLA is biodegradable but under control condition. Kalau kita buang dia dekat, katalah kita buang dia dekat padang kan, so it will not degrade by itself like the natural materials. So ini yang kita kena tengok juga lah. So apa yang saya terbaca, bila kita buang PLA ni, dia hampir sama dia punya status dia macam plastik lah. Plastik sebab dia tak degrade under natural. Mungkin degrade a little bit faster, but it's not as quick as like 2 months, 3 months macam tu. Ni yang kita most of the misleading So kalau menjawab tadi Dr. Fadilah Hamzah punya soalan, disadvantages bioplastics, kalau yang macam tu this still not degradable. Tapi kalau Dr. Fadilah referring to the research that I show in this presentation, of course the disadvantages is the dimensional stability and the water resistance. Okay, that's one of the two very big concern lah. And of course the strength. Okay, the strength, the water resistance, and the dimensional stability. Okay. So is there any study for any area for study improvement? Yeah, of course. For what we can explore is the blending of these materials with other polymers or other reagents or other chemicals, compatibilizer, in order to improve this water resistance. Okay, so also we can explore coating. We can explore coating of these materials. So this is another area for study lah, for the improvement of this material. Okay, so I think that's answer the question. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ridwan.
Yeah. Okay. So I think yes, I've covered most of the topics about the plastics from plants, especially as I mentioned just now, from the starch. So here I think I can come to the conclusions of this sharing this evening. Basically, plastics is excellent materials in terms of the environmentally friendly characteristics. So the modification that's been carried out by using natural fiber and biopolymer. I forgot to mention the TPS it also been studied by blending. Blending with other natural biopolymers such as agar biopolymer. Okay, those we use for making kuih kan, kuih agar-agar tu. That's one of my PhD work last time, okay, using the agar powder, okay, to develop the biopolymer plant. Okay, because in terms of structure, the agar powder, okay, it has a stronger structure compared to starch. So in order to improve the properties, we can blend the starch with the uh, biopolymer, other biopolymer. Okay, so this is another very important, very interesting area also to be discovered. Okay, blending starch with either biopolymer or with synthetic polymer. But when we want to use synthetic polymer, we need to use compatibilizer. Okay, there are a lot of compatibilizer agents that can be explored, okay, for this study, and also coating. Okay. Coating, there are also some studies has been used coating to improve the properties of the material. So as for me, according to my experience, I think coating is one of the best options, okay, to improve this material, because we did not sacrifice the the best material, because once the coating is peel off, so the materials can have their original characteristics, which is biodegradable and also water soluble. Okay, so that's my recommendation. And then lastly, environmentally friendly plastics, okay, derived from green plants, okay, is a promising candidate to replace or to serve as alternative, the alternative for the non-biodegradable materials, okay, so that we can create a more sustainable environment in the future, okay, especially for the next generation, okay, because as we know that the world is not belong to us, but we borrow the world from the future generation. Okay, kita pinjam daripada generasi seterusnya. Okay, so when we want to hand over the world, okay, to the next generation, we hope that they can experience the same thing that we experienced when we were kids. Okay, so this is the spirits of doing this research to go for sustainable environment. Okay, I think that's all from me. So I would like to say thank you for the Ijin, okay, Dr. Nizam and Dr. Mafadi, for providing this platform for me to share uh, my view, okay, regarding the plastics, especially the plastic from plants. And also thanks to all of the participants today. I saw there are about 36 participants. Okay, thanks for your attention. And I hope that this sharing is beneficial for your knowledge and for your research as well. If you have any further questions or any further queries or any potential discussion you would like to discuss further, please feel free to contact me, okay, by using my email, okay, ridwan@utm.edu.my. Okay, I think that's all, Dr. Nizam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ridwan, for an informative presentation. I can see that a lot of the audience really interested with the topic. And for further information, if you would like to contact Dr. Ridwan, you can either contact directly to him, or if you don't know the email or the contact detail, you can contact through from the Google form from the information I give you in the email. Okay, and then I will share again my slide.
Sorry, Doktor. Saya nampak ada soalan daripada Dr. Ilyas ni. Tak nampak, tak perasan.
Oh,
Compared to synthetic plastic, biodegradable plastic is much more expensive. Okay, yeah. Yeah, of course, biodegradable plastic is much more expensive. And the trend for the future, as I said just now, I can take the example for PLA. Okay. Previously, everybody knows that PLA is a very expensive material. But today, just in the 2 to 3 years in recent, the price has become much more cheaper. So it can be seen that this trend could be the same for all bioplastics, especially with the support from the rules and the regulations from the government and the world as well. Okay, Dr. Das, I hope that answered the question.
Okay, thank you. I will take back the slide. Okay, thank you, Dr. Ivan.
Okay, thank you.
So, right now, this is our attendance and feedback form. I already put inside the chat box. For those who not yet fill up the form, I hope you can fill in, and you will get a certificate participation. And also for those from the UTM, we will give the CPD point later. And okay, and this is our social media, which is we have a Facebook, Pejabat Penolong Chancellor Jaringan Industri and Masyarakat UTM, and also we have a LinkedIn page, which is a University Examination Marker. So basically, if we have any event or again like this webinar like this, we will post it on our social media. So I hope everybody can always visit our social media. And for your information, tomorrow we have another topic, which is PETCAM and Advanced Machining Integrated System in Aerospace and Automotive Motorsport Industry. So I hope everybody who have experience or have really interesting topic with this, hope can also join in our webinar for tomorrow's session at 3 to 4 p.m. And last but not least, as always, before we end our webinar, I hope everybody can switch on their camera for a photo session. Okay. So I hope everybody ready. Smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one. Smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's it for today. I hope we will meet again tomorrow and also next week. Okay, and until then, I hope you enjoy this today's webinar. So before that, I will say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good afternoon to all of you. Goodbye. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Dr.